Is it possible to wish that you weren't alive, even while you're rejoicing in the Lord? A man named Jeremiah was a prophet from God. He spoke the truth to God's people at a time when they needed pretty significant rebuke. One of the priests in his day, who was the lead temple officer at the temple, his name was Pashur. He was ticked off at Jeremiah. He did not agree with what God was saying. And so he beat Jeremiah up, and he had him thrown into stocks so that he could be publicly ridiculed. How would you feel if that happened to you because you spoke something, did something that was consistent with God's will? Like it really hurt Jeremiah. But when Jeremiah thought about keeping his mouth shut, okay, like should I just not do this anymore, not stand up for the Lord? He said that the word of God was in his heart like a fire. He couldn't keep it in. That the Lord was a mighty warrior, that God was standing with him, and so he could rejoice in the Lord. Jeremiah was pumped about rejoicing in the Lord, even though he had suffered significant ridicule and physical consequence for being a proclaimer of the truth. That sounds like incredibly optimistic. When you're experiencing something like that, the hardship of being a Christian witness, do you ever feel different? Like you're not that excited? Or I don't know how I can rejoice when I hurt so much. Do you know that right after Jeremiah said, I will rejoice in the Lord, he cursed the day that he was born? He said that he wished there had never been someone rejoicing that he had come out of the womb, that he would have died, that he would have died. Being a witness for Jesus and experiencing the shame and the ridicule that can come along with it can make us feel horrible. There may be times when you wish you weren't alive when you're standing up for Jesus. Do you know that you can feel that way and at the same time rejoice in the Lord? You can recognize the hurt that comes as a consequence of being a witness for the Lord, while at the same time knowing that you're on the right side and you are not going to back down. If you get beaten up, if you get put in the stocks and publicly shamed, you are not going to give up, because the Lord is a mighty warrior. He is going to stand with you, and though it may hurt to live, let's just admit that. It can hurt to be alive. That does not mean that you give up on life. Not in the least. You recognize the pain that sin has brought, and you move forward, knowing that the Lord is a mighty warrior, and that in him you have every reason to rejoice.